nilikuwa na shida ya shamba. Nilikuwa niende kotini, lakini nikaona hii kotini kuna mambo mingi. Iko kesi inachelewa, time inachukua time, mambo na corruption. Mimi nikaenda through TikTok, nikapatana na the real Dr. Paul Okello kutoka Busia, mahali inaitwa Teso, mahali inaitwa Kaliwa Village. So nikapitia hiyo nini yake, hizo video zake, nikaona ni daktari, na nikaona anaweza nisaidia.
Mimi ni Dr. Paul Odhiambo Okello, aka Dr. Nyasi. Dokta wa kunasa waizi, kushughulikia wananchi wenye shida mbalimbali, shida za ndoa, kinga za boma, umenyakuliwa mwanamke na shida zingine zote mbalimbali.
Karibisha kwake na akatusaidia, na hiyo mambo ya shamba ikakuja kutupuliwa mbali. Kwa huku kwetu kwa Kimasai hiyo ni mambo iko na tunafanyanga sisi wenyewe. So sisi hatuoni kitu kubwa hapo, kwa sababu ni kitu tumekuwa tukifanya wenyewe kwa wenyewe. So na imekuwa ikitusaidia. So sisi tunaamini kwa daktari wa miti shamba. Ni kitu tunafanya sisi wenyewe huku kwetu Masai.
We know there are people who go to witch doctors to use the power, the supernatural or non-natural powers from the witch doctor to cause fear, to cause injury and panic, or sometimes to make discoveries, to try and get a discovery of who might be a perpetrator of a certain offense. You know, you left your shirts or your clothes hanging outside your house. Then you come in the evening, they are not there. So you are keen, because you do not have a CCTV camera, you are keen on establishing nani huyu ameiba nguo ulinunuliwa na nyanya yako. So you tend to use now the powers, the supernatural powers from a witch doctor to make a discovery of that crime that was committed in your compound. Now, the Witchcraft Act prohibits the use of supernatural or non-natural powers to discover the perpetrator of an offense. So if, number one, you the viewer and the listener, if it is known that you are procuring the services of a witch doctor so that you can discover the person that stole from your mother, the person that broke into your house, the person that probably killed your relative, that is in itself an offense. And in fact, you are likely to be imprisoned for a period not exceeding 5 years. The fine that you are likely to be imposed is a very lenient fine. It's lenient, at least now, because the law proposes that you can be fined 500 shillings. But you see that 500 shillings in the year 1925 was a lot of money. In the year 1964, that was a lot of money. So, if at all someone is to read this law with certain modifications and alterations so that it can conform with our current, economic system or economic prowess, as it were, then it means that 500 shillings probably means 50,000 shillings or even 5 million shillings. Depends with how you understand the economics of this country. I'm not an economist, but that is how I understand it.
Yeah. Labda hapo ni mahali mimi naishi, hiyo nyumba unaona venye nimekueleza kuanzia kule kufika huko. Huyo ni mtu wa shida kweli. Sasa enda mahali unasaidiwa shida zako ziishe, usiende kwa mtu mwenye shida ati ni daktari anaishi kwa vinyumba vya nyasi vidogo vidogo. Yeye mwenyewe hajamaliza shida zake, anataka kumaliza shida zake kwako.
The law on the witchcraft, the Witchcraft Act of the year 1925. This is a law that was passed by our colonial masters. Remember, we became a British protectorate in the year about 1901. So thereafter, there are certain traditions that we were practicing as Africans, as Kenyans, that the white man was not really very happy with. He could not understand why people will pray for rain to come. People will pray and then certain things will happen. Because, let us just cut the long chase. The truth of the matter is, we believe in a higher power than ourselves. There are things that happen in our life that are not so natural. Some of us will seek divine intervention, will go and seek for prayer.
Aradwa nanu vejalo inoitoi
kesi imemsumbua kwa miaka 4 na sasa vile ndugu yake alikuja kumweleza kwa yeye alimpata through njia ya TikTok, waliweza kuenda hadi na huko Busia.
Na ilikuwa mara yako ya kwanza kutumia daktari wa kienyeji?
Ngolanga ya dogo ya.
Siku yake ya kwanza kutumia daktari wa kienyeji.
Okay.
So really, these are some of the practices that we had that made the white man very much uncomfortable. And so to prevent the blacks, the Africans, the Kenyans from performing these supernatural acts, then this law was passed in the year 1925 to curb these things, because we also need to control what we have no control over. We have systems, we need to teach people also to develop faith in our systems. We have the DCI. We have DCI who have gone to school, they have trained with the FBI, they have gone to Israel, they have trained, they know how to look for criminals. So if you want to use witchcraft to go and discover a person that has committed a certain crime, that in itself is abhorred by the law.
I am the really Dr. Paul Okello from Busia County, Teso Sub-County, Kaliwa Village, Kaliwa Sub-Location, Kaliwa Location. I do catch thieves and solve many problems. I am a traditional herbal doctor registered with the Department of Culture. The Constitution needs to recognize the work and roles traditional doctors do to save people. Many have appreciated my work from all over the country and abroad.
Mimi naona madaktari hawapewi ile ruhusa kabisa, kibali ya kufanya kazi, na wanafaa kupewa hiyo kibali kwa sababu ndio wamekuwa wakitusaidia na wakitufanyia kazi huku.
People resort to witchcraft basically because number one of the fear of the expenses that come with a lawyer. But the law permits you as an individual to self-represent. We have the National Legal Aid Act. It's an act of parliament. It was created for the purpose of bridging that gap, because there are people who cannot get to court. Their door to access to justice is closed because they cannot afford a lawyer. But we have a system that provides of mechanisms of getting to a lawyer without even money, the legal aid. So you do not want to tell us that you are going to use witchcraft because you cannot afford a lawyer. We have a system that guarantees you access to justice through these pro bono lawyers. Number two, some people say that the judiciary is corrupt, you are not going to get justice. Well, justice in itself is not a cloistered virtue. That is what we say in our corridors of justice. Justice, for some reason, is exposed to certain impurities, and the impurity is simple. There are instances where judges, magistrates are corrupted because they are human beings. They don't come from heaven, and that is why we have a system of accountability. We have the Judicial Service Commission. If you fear something has been done and it was not done properly, you have the opportunity of complaining to the Judicial Service Commission. Go ahead, file your appeal or a review, and that error will be corrected. So we do not have to lose hope in our system for us to justify the use of witchcraft. So I think that is how I look at it. There are questions also about time. That time is spent so much in court, but time is spent so much because we have very few lawyers, very few judges and magistrates that have the responsibility of giving solutions to problems. Now, if we expedite the hearing and the determination of disputes in court, then we will not have a problem seeking our refuge from the courts of law, because the courts will be there ready and willing to solve our problems. But I know too well we have a problem with a case backlog. We have a problem with corruption within our system, but that does not mean that we lose hope with the system as it were, and for us to run into witchcraft. That Witchcraft Act, though passed in the year 1925, is still an act of parliament. It is still enforceable. Tukikupata unataka kutumia uchawi, kutafuta bibi, kutafuta bwana, kutafuta watoto wako, kutafuta nani aliua ndugu yako, naweza shikwa. Asante.